Good afternoon, everyone. Jai Sai Ram to all. So just update me that whether am I audible and the screen is visible clearly so that we can start up with the session. That is the MCQs for the chapter Nutrition in Animals. Okay, so here we start with it. The very first question says that which of the following pair of teeth differ in structure but are similar in function? So there are four options on the screen. If you could see, that is canines and incisors. Second is molars and premolars. Third is incisors and molars. And the fourth is premolars and canines. You need to tell which of the following pair of teeth differ in structure but are similar in function. Hurry up, you can write the answer in the chat box. Which of the following is the correct answer? Okay. So there are four options. We know there are four types of teeth in our mouth, namely incisors, canines, premolars, and the molars. And the question says that they have different structure, the two teeth, but they have similar function. So yes, if we talk about, okay, very good. Many of you are giving the correct answer. For that, if we look upon it, the first question, the teeth, if we'll talk about the name of the teeth itself, incisors, canines, premolars, and molars. We have four types of teeth. And the same function is for molars and premolars because they have different structure, but their main function is for cutting the food. So yes, the correct answer is molars and premolars. Moving ahead to the next one. Read carefully the terms given below. Which of the following set is the correct combination of organs that do not carry out any digestive functions? So we know that our alimentary canal is made up of different parts, different organs where the food gets digested, absorbed, assimilated. So different things occur in our alimentary canal. The question is saying which of the following set is the correct combination of organs that do not carry out any digestive function. जिनमें digestive function होता ही नहीं है. They are responsible for the different things except the digestive functions. So the option A says that it's esophagus, large intestine, rectum. Option B says it's buccal cavity, oesophagus, rectum. Option C, buccal cavity, oesophagus, large intestine. And option D says small intestine, large intestine, and rectum. I hope you all are very well clear with the different functions of the different portions of the alimentary canal. So yes, very good. The correct answer is given by many. That is the A1. Oesophagus is not responsible for digestion. It is just responsible for transferring the food from the mouth to the stomach. Similarly, large intestine is responsible for the absorption of water, and rectum is responsible for storing the undigested food. All these three parts are not involved in any of the digestive functions. So that is the correct answer. Moving ahead, yes, this is explanation and the function of each. So esophagus pushes the food downward, as I told you. Large intestine absorbs water and some salts. And the rectum is responsible for storing the waste. Moving ahead to the next question. The swallowed food moved downwards in the alimentary canal because of. So you need to tell the food which I swallowed moves downward in the alimentary canal. So what is the reason that the food moves downward? So here are some options. Is the force provided by the muscular tongue that makes the food move downward, or the flow of water taken with the food, Or I could say the gravitational pull of the earth is making the food push downwards. And the last part says like the contraction of muscles in the walls of the food pipe. So you need to think which is the correct option. Is it A, the force provided by the muscular tongue? Think about it. Okay. Is the screen not clear for everyone? Okay, that's what I would like to ask. Just a second. Fine. So the correct answer for this is yes. If we'll talk about, you could see it in the picture itself. The muscles contract and the muscles relax in the food pipe. So you could see the food pipe. This is our food pipe, and in the food pipe, muscles are contracting and relaxing, which is leading to push the food downwards. So the correct option for this part will be the D1, that is the contraction of the muscles in the walls of food pipe. So that is the correct answer. Moving ahead to the next question. The acid present in the stomach. So if you're talking about the acid which is present in the stomach, what is the function of that acid in the stomach? A part, it kills the bacteria that may enter along with the food. B part, it protects the stomach lining from harmful substances. C part, it digests starch into simple substances or simple sugars. Or fourth, it makes the medium alkaline. So what is the correct answer? What is the function served by the acid? Acid is responsible for what? Okay, so yes, that is the correct one. If I'll talk about the functions of acids, so the acids are responsible, perfect, for killing the harmful bacteria that may enter along with the food. So correct answer given by everyone. Moving ahead to the next one, you could see it upon the screen as well. Our stomach is responsible for secreting three important parts, three important juices, that is HCl, digestive enzymes, and mucus. We know HCl helps in killing the bacteria, and the mucus makes the protective layer, if you could see, which prevents our stomach from the action of HCl. So the correct answer chosen by many of you, that the stomach consists of hydrochloric acid, which kills the bacteria that enter through the food. Moving ahead to the next question. The finger-like outgrowths of amoeba helps to ingest food. However, the finger-like outgrowths of small intestine helps too. So we know, we have studied about that the finger-like projections are present in amoeba as well as in the human intestine. So they are asking and even telling that amoeba's finger-like projection helps to ingest the food. So what is the function of the finger-like projections in the small intestine? So here are the four parts. Think about it. First, they digest the fatty food substances. Second, they make the food soluble. Third, they absorb the digested food. Or fourth, they absorb undigested food. What is the main function of the... Yes, the finger-like projections on the human intestine is used to absorb the digested food. That's the correct part. And you will be amazed to see how our small intestine looks from inside. The next slide tells you, see, this is actually the structure, if I'll talk about how these finger-like look inside our small intestine. And all these finger-like projections are nothing else called as villi. So if I'll talk about villi, this is a very important question, and yes, you could see how they look into the small intestine, and they're numerous in amount, richly supplied with the blood vessels. So they absorb nutrients from the digested food by increasing the space of the small intestine. That is the function they perform. Moving ahead to the next one. Read the following statements with reference to the villi of the small intestine. So right now we discussed the question for the villi. You could see that what is the function of villi, what do they do. So now there are certain statements for the villi. First, they have very thin walls. Second, they have a network of thin and small blood vessels close to the surface. Third, they have pores through which the food can easily pass. And fourth, there are finger-like projections. Identify those statements which enable the villi to absorb digested food. So there are four characteristics. Just a second. I hope the screen is visible. Okay, so you need to tell which of the following is the correct statement, or what are the functions of the small intestine. So which is the correct option? What all functions they serve? So first they say that they have thin walls. Second, they say that they have a network of blood vessels close to the surface. Third, they have small pores through which food can easily pass. Or fourth, they have finger-like projections. So yes, you all have certain correct ideas. But if I'll talk about, yes, they have thin walls. We have seen the structure of villi. They are of thin walls. Second is also correct. They have a network of thin and small blood vessels close to the surface. And fourth says that yes, they have finger-like projections. They also help in digestion. So first, second, and fourth, the correct option is the A1. Moving ahead to the next one. The false feet of amoeba are used for. You need to tell there are certain rules given. Which of the following the false feet of amoeba is used for? So if I'll talk about the false feet of amoeba is nothing else. What is the name of the false feet of amoeba? Can anyone tell up it in the chat box? What is the false name of amoeba's feet, or the false feet of amoeba? Okay, I'm getting certain answers. Some says that it's for movement only. Some says that it's capturing of food. Third is the capture of food in the movement. But yes, what are the false feet called? Yes, the false feet of amoeba are called pseudopodia. And if I'll talk about their function, yes, their function is to capture of food and movements. The correct answer is the C1. Moving ahead to the next one, the enzymes present in saliva convert. So there are certain enzymes present in saliva. What is the function of those enzymes? They convert fats into fatty acids and glycerol. Second, they convert starch into simple sugars. Third, they convert proteins into amino acids. And the fourth, they convert complex sugars into simple sugar. So what is the function of saliva? So you all must know that our salivary gland is present in the mouth and they are responsible for secreting saliva. The saliva in turn is very helpful. So what is the function of saliva? Yes, I'm getting bundle of answers. Some say it's fats into fatty acids and glycerol. Others say it's starch into simple sugar. Yes, that's the correct one. If I talk about C, if you could see the figure, this figure is something explanatory to you. From my side, the screen is completely clear. I do not know what's the problem occurring. Okay, so if I'll talk about the structure, the salivary glands in our mouth, they're not just single below the tongue. There are different places that these salivary glands are situated. So you could see beside your teeth, under your teeth, and even near about your neck. So there are certain regions where are these salivary glands located. And the function of these salivary glands is to release saliva, and the saliva contains salivary amylase enzyme which breaks down starch into simple sugar. So yes, many of you answered the correct one, that is, it breaks starch into simple sugar. And that's the correct one. Moving ahead to the next question. Cud is the name given to the food of the ruminants. which is, now ruminants are basically the herbivores or the grass eating animals, and the food they eat is termed as cud. So they are asking that cud is the name given to the food of ruminants, which is A, swallowed and undigested, B, swallowed and partially digested, C, properly chewed and partially digested, or fourth, properly chewed and completely digested. So which of them is the correct option? कट किसको नेम दिया गया है? ऐसा फूड जो swallowed है और undigested है, और swallowed है और partially digested है. Partially means half digested. Third, is it properly chewed and partially digested? Or fourth, it is properly chewed and completely digested. Yes. Very good. Many of you have answered correct. So if I'll talk about, you could see there is a ruminant, or basically a cow or a herbivore animal on the screen. So what do they do? Ruminants, whenever they get the food, they just quickly swallow whatever they are getting. And they have 4-chambered stomach. So they just store whatever they are getting by just half digesting, partially digesting them with the help of teeth, and they store in one of the part of the stomach called as rumen. But later when they are free, that half digested food, which is called as cud, comes back to the mouth where it is completely digested. So yes, the correct answer for this is swallowed and partially digested, which you all have answered almost correctly. Great. Moving ahead to the next one. Choose the correct order of the terms that describes the process of nutrition in ruminants. So there is certain order. You need to search and let me know which is the correct order that describe the process of nutrition in ruminants. So A, first they do swallowing, B, then partial digestion, C, chewing of curd, and then D, followed by complete digestion. Or first is it chewing of curd, then swallowing, partial digestion, complete digestion. So you need to check it out carefully which is the correct order that describes the process of nutrition. कौन सा सही तरीका है? पहले swelling होना, फिर partial digestion होना, followed by chewing of cud and complete digestion. So which is the correct method? Okay, great. So the correct method is the A1. That is, first the food gets swallowed. After getting swallowed, it gets partially digested. And that partially digested food, we call it as cud, which is stored in rumen, the first chamber of the stomach. Then when the ruminants are free, they do not have anything to eat, the food comes back to their mouth, that is called as chewing of cud, and then they get completely digested. So the correct option is the A1, and many of you have answered it correctly. Great. The 12th question says like, cellulose-rich food substances are a good source of roughage in human beings because. So cellulose-rich, if I'll talk about, cellulose is just a fiber which is basically present in grass. So basically, what grass is rich in cellulose. So cellulose-rich food are a good source of roughage in human beings because A, human beings do not have cellulose digesting enzymes. B, cellulose gets absorbed in the human body and converts into fibers. C, the cellulose digesting bacteria convert cellulose into fibers. And D, cellulose breaks down into small components which are ingested as roughage. Yes? Great. So the first option is the correct one, that the human beings do not have cellulose digesting enzymes. And that is why they cannot help up in digestion. Next. Now the 13th question seems like you just need to guess the parts of the alimentary canal. There are no options given to you. So you need to tell one by one. Which part of the alimentary canal is responsible for water getting absorbed from the undigested food? Hurry up, tell the answer. Water is getting absorbed from undigested food. Which part of the alimentary canal is responsible for it? So we know that certain parts in the alimentary canal, starting from mouth, which consists of tongue and teeth, to food pipe, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, anus. So which part is responsible for water getting absorbed? Yes, very good. So the first answer is the large intestine. Large intestine is responsible for absorption of water. The second part says digested food gets absorbed. So again, you need to choose the different parts of the alimentary canal and think about the part through which digested food gets absorbed. Is it stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, anus, or certain digestive glands? Which part is responsible for digested food getting absorbed? Yes, that is small intestine. And we know that the small intestine have certain finger-like projections which we have talked about. And those finger-like projections, that is the villi, help in the absorption of food. Third, taste of food is perceived. So which part of the alimentary canal is responsible for tasting the food? Through which part of our body or the alimentary canal we can taste our food? Is it teeth, salivary glands, okay, stomach, tongue? Yes. Very good. So the correct answer is the tongue. Tongue has certain taste buds responsible for tasting the food. And the fourth part and the last part, you need to tell which part is responsible in the alimentary canal where bile juice is produced. The production of bile juice takes place in which part of the alimentary canal? Yes, that's correct. That is the liver. Liver is the largest gland of the body where the bile juice is produced and is responsible for emulsification of fats, that is breaking down of bigger fat molecules into the smaller ones. Now this is again an interesting question for you all. You need to choose the odd one out in the different parts. Odd one out means the one which is not serving the same function or not having the same role. Okay, so the first part says liver, salivary gland, starch and gallbladder. Which is the odd one out among them? Is it liver, salivary gland, starch or gallbladder? Which is the different, not serving the same role? Great. Okay. Many of you believe for the first part that starch is something different. Yes, that's the correct one. The answer for the first one is starch, because starch is a carbohydrate and remaining all, if I talk about liver, salivary gland and gallbladder, are the organs or the parts of the alimentary canal. Whereas starch is not the part of the alimentary canal, so the starch is odd one out. One. Stomach, liver, pancreas, salivary gland. Which is the odd one out? Stomach, liver, pancreas, salivary gland. Very good. Okay, so many of you are answering stomach while others believe it's salivary gland. So what could be the reason for this odd one out, if someone could tell me? If you are choosing stomach, why you are choosing stomach in the second part? And some believe it's salivary gland. So what could be the reason for the salivary gland? What is the reason for choosing the option? You say it's stomach. Okay, but why? What could be the reason for it? Okay, yes, so the correct option is the stomach, because all the remaining three are the glands of the alimentary canal which are responsible for secreting juices, but stomach is the part of the alimentary canal where partial digestion occurs or the food enters. Very good, Kimaira Singh. Rest all our glands. Perfect. Moving ahead to the third one: tongue, absorption, taste, swallow. Which is the odd one out? Tongue, absorption, taste, and swallow. Okay, I repeat: tongue, absorption, taste, swallow. Great. Yes, tongue is the odd one out. That's the correct one, because tongue is the part of the alimentary canal, whereas all others are not the part of the alimentary canal. The fourth part, sorry, it's oesophagus, small intestine, large intestine, rectum. Now this is something different. Think about it. Oesophagus, small intestine, large intestine, rectum. Yes, perfect. Very good. Many of you believe it's small intestine. Yes, the correct answer is the small intestine. Why is the small intestine the correct answer? Because small intestine is the only part which is helping in the digestion. Remaining all the parts are responsible for just transferring the food. So small intestine is the correct option. Moving ahead to the next and the question, which you need to tell about whether it's true or false. So we'll move to this question in the faster pace. Hurry up. The first part says that tongue is attached to the roof of the mouth cavity at the back. So you need to tell whether it's true or false. Tongue is attached to the roof of the mouth of the cavity. True, false. It needs to be rapid fire. Hurry up, just write false or true. Roof, no, it's false, because tongue is attached to the floor of the buccal cavity, not the roof. It's not attached from the top, it is attached from the bottom. So that is called as the floor, not the roof. So the first one is false. Second, the large intestine is longer and wider than the small intestine of the human alimentary canal. So they want to say in the second part that the length of the large intestine is longer than the length of the small intestine. Very good. Yes, students, it's false, because actually the length of the small intestine is longer. It's the diameter that is bigger. Third, mucus protects the stomach lining from damage. Is it true or false? Is it the mucus which protects the stomach lining from the damage? Yes, the mucus is the protective covering which is responsible for protecting the stomach lining from the damage. Moving ahead to the last true and false. All heterotrophs have a similar basic process of nutrition. I repeat, all heterotrophs, means the organisms which cannot make their own food are the heterotrophs, have a similar basic process of nutrition. Yes, they all have a similar basic process of nutrition because they're dependent on other. Very good. Majority of you have answered the correct one. Now I have labeled a diagram. You need to tell which part is responsible among them. So the largest gland in our body, you need to name it as the largest gland in our body in the figure is either A, B, C or D. So largest gland in our body Yes, it is liver. Perfect. So you need to tell, if it is liver, which part is denoting the liver? Is it A part, B part, C, or the D? Which is the largest gland in our body? Yes, it is liver, and liver is denoted by the A part. Okay, the next one. The organ where protein digestion starts. This is something different. Now, you must know that the protein digestion starts, actually the actual digestion takes place, or the complete digestion takes place in small intestine. But the protein digestion occurs in some other part of our body. Very good. Yes, you're giving the correct answer. The organ where protein digestion starts is the stomach, and stomach over here is labeled by B. So perfect, my dear students. The C one. The organ that releases the digestive juice into the small intestine. Now you need to tell which organ is the one which releases the juice into the small intestine. Think about it. Yes, very good. It is the pancreas. The pancreas secrete pancreatic juice, which are just sent into the small intestine. And where is pancreas denoted? It is denoted by C. The last one. The organ where bile juice gets stored. So which is the organ where bile juice gets stored? Liver secretes bile juice, and bile juice is stored in which organ? Yes. Great. Gallbladder is the correct answer, and gallbladder is denoted by D. Okay. Moving ahead to the last question of today's slide, you need to guess A, B, C, and D. Which type of teeth is A? Which type of teeth is B? Followed by C and D. So A, if you could see A, which is the type of the teeth is A? Is A an incisor, canine, premolars, or molars? We have 4 types of teeth. Yes, A are the incisors, the front 4 teeth. If I'll talk about B, which type of teeth are the B ones? Hurry up, you could comment it in the chat box, all the 4 together, that A, B, C, and D. Okay, very good. Many of you have answered correctly. A are the incisors. Very good, followed by B. B are the canines. These are the sharp ones responsible for tearing. Followed by C and D. That is the same kind of structure but same kind of function but different structures. That is, they are premolars and molars. So these are the 4 types of teeth. C are the premolars. Yes, you all are correct. C are the premolars and D are the molars. So these are the 4 types of teeth present in our mouth. Great. So this is the last question which you have to comment it in the chat box, since we are ending up with our quiz. So think about this question and comment it in the chat box. That is, ruminants such as cows and buffaloes swallow their food hurriedly and then sit restfully and chew their food. Can you just give the reason why? So you need to think about this question and comment it in the chat box that what could be the answer for the ruminants swallow their food hurriedly and then just they sit beside and chew their food. Yes, I've discussed in the quiz itself. Hurry up, think about it and comment it in the chat box. Thank you all for joining. Have a good day.